People in Britain. Oh dear. Well, let's have a look then at what the Ipsos MORI poll found. As you can see there, the figures speaking for themselves. Even members of Parliament did better than journalists, with at least a quarter of the British public trusting them to tell the truth. As the financial crisis drags on, bankers' believability has plummeted to put them in the bottom three. Two-thirds said they don't trust them. Politicians in general did come out worst here, trusted by only 18% of those surveyed. But sadly for journalists, over 70% of people in Britain no longer trust them. Well, Tony Gosling's an investigative journalist himself. He told me it's not the reporters' fault, though, but media bosses who are to blame.
It's not the fault of journalists, because the people that actually control the media really are not the journalists themselves. Journalists are hired and fired by the managers and by editors.
So it's the boss's fault?
Newspapers, the senior staff. Well, it is actually, and it's the owners as well. I mean, it's been one of the byproducts of the financial crisis. Has been very handy for some because it's become much easier to hire and fire journalists. And so what's happening is the media is concentrating into fewer and fewer hands, and these owners are basically using their outlets to pedal their own political line. It's very difficult to tell the truth. The idea being, basically, if you're a journalist like me, don't rock the boat. You might end up on the dole.
Yeah, when you've got a wife and kids to feed. OK, right, so generally, just standing back from this, people feel the media is all too frequently lying to them. Standing back as you see it in Britain, is that a fair assessment or is it overblown?
Well, I think it's overblown to say they're lying. It's just that we're not told the entire truth. I mean, for example, in Denmark, about 10 years ago, one of the news presenters was actually sacked for being on the news and saying, at the end of the news, that is what we decided to tell you tonight. It's a bit of a joke, but, you know, there is a lot that isn't being said on our media. I mean, the BBC is losing its credibility slowly, ever since really the 1990s, because of the way it's been being managed, not through the fault of the journalists, but, I mean, for example, at the moment, we've got the chairman of the BBC is Chris Huhne. He's a former senior Conservative cabinet minister. You know, he's coming from a very specific point of view. I mean, I don't really think you should have people with that political persuasion or any senior politicians running the BBC. And of course, the result has been things like the Savile scandal have come out, but nobody has actually been sacked for that.
Investigative journalist Tony Gosling. Coming up after the break with me, Kevin, in the printer that could really give you a hand, literally.